Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell? I said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Average Gaming 96, and welcome to the review of WWE 2014. Now, if any subscribers are familiar with this sort of video, I did one for 2013. If you want to see the 2013 version, then happily go on my channel and have a look on that, because it's basically a 30-minute video of me talking about how I felt and what I thought about people's momentum, etc. Like what sort of build, what was the match of the year, what was the worst match of the year, and what was like the best storyline build, etc. So anyway, guys, let's get on with the very beginning of the year. Now, let's say after TLC, yeah, we find out that Batista is heading into the Royal Rumble to to win the Royal Rumble, unfortunately, and go on to WrestleMania 30 to face Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight title. But I'll get to that WrestleMania part soon. But anyway, let's head back to the Royal Rumble. Now, we've got many stars here at the time being. We had CM Punk. We had Daniel Bryan. We had Bray Wyatt. We had guys like Cesaro. We had guys like, The Shield. We had all these superstars. Roman Reigns was probably the biggest star heading into the Royal Rumble, since he is new, he's fresh, he's a built-up guy, and he's related to The Rock, etc. Like I said, he's a big guy, and you know what Vince is like with big guys? That does not sound gay in a way, but it's true. Vince McMahon is always into the bodybuilding looking guys. I mean, past generation by generation for wrestling. There's Hulk Hogan, Triple H, John Cena, The Rock, all them sort of people, and now they're probably going to head for Roman Reigns. But anyway, during the build to the Royal Rumble, it wasn't that great at all. The Royal Rumble, I mean, the momentum at the time for all superstars was terrible. The most momentum was heading on Batista. There wasn't a lot of momentum at all. I mean, there was a bit of momentum for CM Punk, but we kind of knew he wasn't going to win this one. Well, to me, I didn't think he was going to win it, as much as I really like CM Punk. I will get on to CM Punk's leaving WWE, well, getting fired from WWE. But when it comes to the Royal Rumble, Batista was obviously at Randy Orton's face saying, he was saying, like, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble and I'm going to defeat you at WrestleMania for the WWE World Heavyweight title, which thank God it wasn't a singles compared matchup, because WrestleMania 30 would have been the most boring main event in WWE. But anyway, then comes Daniel Bryan and Bray fucking Wyatt. This build-up was going on for months and months and months. It had going on since Survivor Series 2013. And that was the second good match at that pay-per-view. That Survivor Series 2013. Don't even make me get started. Jesus Christ, that pay-per-view really sucked. But it had momentum for Daniel Bryan, and it had a lot of charisma for him, and it had the build itself to Royal Rumble between Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan was absolutely amazing. The match stole the show. It was the first pay-per-view match of the year, and it stole the show. It was the best match of the night. Now, that's very rare when it comes to the Royal Rumble event, because usually the Royal Rumble is the show, the match of the night. But, I mean, 2013 Royal Rumble was fantastic. In 2014, no, not so great. I mean, I made a big review on the 2014 Royal Rumble, and I was not happy with it at all. But then comes guys like Roman Reigns comes in and makes history by beating Kane in the history books of eliminating the most competitors in the Royal Rumble, which is good. And like I said to you guys, they're building Roman Reigns to becoming the top star. So gradually, since the Royal Rumble, after all of this year, he has built so much momentum, apart from getting injured, etc. And a lot of stars had their moments in the Royal Rumble, like Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus when he returned. Rollins, as a matter of fact, had a pretty good moment in the Rumble. Dean Ambrose was okay. Roman Reigns was brilliant, like as he usually is. He's got that. He's like The Rock. He comes out and the people, cheering like crazy for him, and Yeah, and then Batista comes out at number 28. I think it was 28, which was very disappointing. And it was only a matter of time when Batista was going to come out and probably win the show and to win the match. I mean, excuse me. And when Mysterio came out, oh my god, at number 30, when everyone expected it to be Brian because Brian was actually injured at the time. And Jesus Christ, it was so bad. Do you remember, guys, when how everyone was so pissed off when when freaking Roman Reigns gets eliminated by freaking Batista, and it's just absolutely disgusting. Really, it generally is. And and the night after, CM Punk is gone. CM Punk is gone. I mean, CM Punk was doing well in the Royal Rumble, and you know, he did well in the Rumble. I mean, he was there since number one of the Rumble, and he completely gets absolutely pissed off with the company. And to be honest with you guys, either if like I have I've listened to the interview as many times as I can possibly I've listened to, if that makes sense. But I've listened to the freaking Colt Cabana and CM Punk interview so many times, and it's a great interview to listen to. But anyway, that'll be further on in the video. But yes, the big shock all over the internet. I mean, I was shocked. CM Punk, well, left the company, but he didn't. Um, but everyone was still shocked because obviously I thought he quit. Everyone else thought he quit because obviously no one knew behind the scenes of the story. I mean, there were a lot of haters out there saying he's a quitter. There's a lot of people saying, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for leaving the company and all sort of crap. Part timers always get worshipped, and that is a fact. That has been a fact ever since freaking part timers even came back to the WWE. You know what I mean? They get worshipped all the time. I mean, you look at guys like Dolph Ziggler, guys like Cesaro, guys like Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is one of them, definitely. You may disagree, but he's actually a really good talent. And there's also guys like what's his name? Sorry, I forgot the name, my guys. Um, yeah, nah, let's just leave it from there. There's so many names out there, you know what I mean. But anyway, guys, the Royal Rumble, Batista wins it. There's a massive rant all over the internet, and I don't really blame the internet for getting pissed off. And I was pissed off myself, but Batista wins. Daniel Bryan loses against Bray Wyatt in a fantastic match, like I mentioned earlier, and the rest of the pay per view was not that great at all. The momentum wise for Daniel Bryan, it kind of went downhill for just a little bit, but because of how popular Daniel Bryan is, if he wasn't as popular when he faced Bray Wyatt, he would never be in the main event of WrestleMania. So, so it's good that Daniel Bryan had the fans behind him, and he had so much charisma and momentum heading into Elimination Chamber, which leads to the build of Elimination Chamber. Batista had a match with Alberto Del Rio. Oh yeah, sorry. Before we get into the Elimination Chamber, I give the rating of the Royal Rumble a 4 out of 10, because the pay per view itself it was meh, but Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt saved the show and stole it as well, which leads into the Elimination Chamber build. The Elimination Chamber build was actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, there was actually some really good moments with the Elimination Chamber. It was the Shield versus the Wyatt family, which for some reason was not the match of the year, but oh well, it doesn't matter. It was still a fantastic match. Um, John Cena, Cesaro, what's his name? Damn it! I'm trying to figure out who was in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Yeah, there was Orton, Bryan, Cena. What's his name? Damn it! I can't remember names, but let's just say it's the very last bit. There's Batista facing Alberto Del Rio in some Twitter rivalry matchup. I do not know why them two faced each other, but nevertheless, Batista obviously wins to build more momentum, which does obviously make sense. And then comes what's their names? Yeah, then there's then there's obviously the Wyatts versus excuse me, the Wyatts versus the Shield, which was the match in the night, 100%. And it's before anyone says anything, it does make sense that the Wyatt family won that match. The reason why the Wyatt family won that match is because if the Wyatt family is good at facing John Cena, the face of the company, they need as much momentum as possible heading into the WrestleMania, the biggest show of wrestling. And if the Shield would have won, it would be the massive disadvantage to the Wyatt family heading into WrestleMania against John Cena. So if Bray Wyatt never attacked Cena at the Royal Rumble when Cena faced Orton, then it would have been less predictable, if that makes sense. Like the match itself would have been less predictable, so people would be like cheering even more for the matchup. I mean, I was obviously cheering for the match. It was a great match, fantastic, and to be honest, we didn't really know what to expect from the Wyatt family versus the Shield, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the match was fantastic, and I'm very glad that I watched it. Anyway, that's the match in the night, and then heading into the main event of the Elimination Chamber. Um, what's his name? Oh yeah, Cena. Like I said again about the Wyatt family, the Wyatt family attacks Cena. Like I think it was the last three of the Elimination Chamber match, and Cena was in the Orton, the champion, in the STF, and then the lights go out and shit. The Wyatt family comes out, fucking awesome moment it was. Tax Cena, Sister Abigail. That's it. WrestleMania build. WrestleMania build. Here we go. So they've got about 6 to 7 weeks to build this rivalry up, and so I will continue talking about that rivalry in a minute, which leads to Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. Now, Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton were the last two in the Elimination Chamber, but Randy Orton won the title by the distraction of Kane. Now, the match itself was really good. Cesaro had a lot of moments in the match, like he gave the almighty swing to Randy Orton, the king of swing, and it was a really good match, very good match, very well done. And it was probably one of the best Elimination Chamber matches I've seen in a long time. The last good Elimination Chamber match I saw was last year in 2013, the SmackDown one when Jack Swagger won. No, seriously, guys, believe me, I really thought that match was really good. So, but anyway, this is 2014 we're talking about. Um, when it came to the match, the main event between Orton and Bryan in the very last bit, it creates a story right there because when Daniel Bryan was in the position when he was about to be pinned after the RKO, he kicked out at two. Now that tells you the story that Bryan has heart. He has heart and he fights and fights and he never gives up. He's designed to win and never give up. And that's what tells the story about heading into WrestleMania is that the fact that Daniel Bryan has so much momentum and so many fans behind him and has so much charisma, that's probably why he won the WWE World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. So it does make sense. To me, it's kind of a Chris Benoit, but obviously Daniel Bryan is nowhere near, compared to Chris Benoit. It's just the storyline, like the way it's built, it's sort of similar in a way, but obviously, it's all different scenarios. Like Batista won the Rumble, Orton's the champion, and Daniel Bryan's like a guy that looks like a rookie from an indie show coming into the main event of Mania versus two, big popular stars. So it's great that Bryan had that big push, which leads to the Triple H match and Daniel Bryan. Now, because CM Punk was out of the way, because Triple H was meant to be facing CM Punk for the I think it was just going to be a normal match, or it was going to be like a rematch from the 2011 Night Champions match between Punk and Triple H. And that match definitely stole the show back in 2011, and it could have stole the show again at WrestleMania 30, but because of CM Punk disappearing from WWE, they had to come up with an idea for Daniel Bryan to earn his spot for the WWE World Heavyweight title in the main event of WrestleMania. So it does make sense. So Triple H and Daniel Bryan had this big feud going on. I mean, they've been going on it. They've had this feud since SummerSlam 2013, which, in my opinion, was the best pay per view of the year back then. But anyway, the rivalry was pretty much hang on, SummerSlam Night Champions. So roughly, it was nearly about 8 to 9 months. This rivalry was building and building and building. And I love the fact that in their promo they mentioned Daniel Bryan like in the very beginning as a rookie on NXT, then all the way like gradually like he's winning NXT, no, not NXT. He leaves NXT and then he wins the United States title and then he wins the tag team titles and then he gradually gets more popular and all that sort of stuff. And then which comes to WrestleMania. But before I get on with that, I give the rating for Elimination Chamber a 6 out of 10, mainly because the Elimination Chamber match was great. The Wyatt family versus Shield was great, and the rest of it was not that great. So yeah, only two good matches at that pay per view. So 6 out of 10. Now here comes the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. I'm gonna start off with the very first match in the night, which was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, which was the match of the night, definitely. And there was a lot of momentum heading into that match, especially from Daniel Bryan, since he had to win that match to be in the main event of WrestleMania. And Triple H with an awesome entrance, as he usually does. He always has an awesome entrance at WrestleMania, and he really did give us one. And I'm really happy that Triple H made a big impact at WrestleMania 30. But the only downfall about the Triple H match with Bryan is that Triple H got pinned after one finisher. He not, yeah, he got pinned after one running knee. I thought he would have kicked out of one running knee and then lose with the second one. You know what I mean? But it doesn't really matter because it's about Daniel Bryan and his moment. Like, even though it did kind of suck in a way, but at the end of the day, Bryan had his moment and it's good. And then there's the Andre the Giant Battle Royal match when Hulk Hogan returned and announced it for WrestleMania since it's been 30 years of WrestleMania, which is like such an accomplishment to have a big wrestling event that's been going on for 3 decades, and that's impressive. So Hulk Hogan came up with the idea of doing a match, a Battle Royal, and Cesaro out of fucking nowhere wins the fucking match, and it's so ironic if you think about it in a way. It just reminds all the old school fans that you know it's the same thing. Hogan's meant to be Cesaro, and Andre is meant to be Big Show. He body slams him out of the ring. That's the idea of the outcome of the match. It's meant to remind you of that body slam when Hulk Hogan body slammed it at WrestleMania 3 to win the title and to beat Andre the Giant for the first time in over 15 years. That was the idea of the outcome, and I fucking loved it. It was beautifully done, and Cesaro out of fucking nowhere, as Jim Ross would say, like by God King, he just lifts Big Show up and just throws him out of the ring, like Hulk Hogan would do to Andre the Giant. It was such a brilliant moment, and the crowd went absolutely fucking insane. That it was so unpredictable that I thought it was either going to be Cesaro, Ziggler, or Miz. I don't know why I chose Miz, but anything could happen in that match. But one of them was right, and I said Cesaro, didn't I? So yeah, the match was okay until the very end. The outcome was mainly the thing that really got us. The next match was I'm gonna go straight to The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Wow, this match was terrible, guys. This match, the match itself was really bad, and I'm not just blaming The Undertaker. I'm not blaming Brock Lesnar. It's the way they were used to the build. The Undertaker, usually when it comes to building The Undertaker to have a match with him at WrestleMania, you gotta make The Undertaker as weak as possible. You gotta make it, because there's been so many great matches. Triple H, CM Punk, Shawn Michaels. Three of them men have had fantastic matches. Fantastic matches with The Undertaker. CM Punk, that was a showstopper at WrestleMania 29. That was the only good match. And then there's Triple H twice at 27 and 28. The no holds barred and the hand to cell match. Shawn Michaels at 25 and 26. In my opinion, guys, WrestleMania 25 is the greatest WrestleMania match between with the Undertaker. That is the best one out of them all, in my opinion. But yeah, the build of this match was not great at all because the way I see it, both men, well, I wouldn't say Undertaker has to be very, very weak, but they have to be equal. So they like one man, like both men have to look as strong as possible heading into WrestleMania. So, and that's what they didn't have. Like, in the podcast with Jericho, Edge, and Paul Heyman, they were all like, "You're like, no, no, this didn't work. This is not great. Because of the build." And to be honest, I don't really blame them. It doesn't, it's not that great at all. But Taker lost, and I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Here's a story. Here's a story about that match, right? This is exactly what happened. Me and my friends were in the conservatory of my house watching the match itself. I got really bored, so I decided that I needed to go to the loo. I need, to go for a piss. So I went to the toilet, and all I heard was the bell ring. Like I was like, just doing my business, washing my hands, and all I heard was the bell ring. And I went, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? Went back into the room, and then I went, what the hell just happened? And my friend just said the streak's over, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Ran straight to the TV, and my jaws were locked open, like, and my hands were on my head, like, what the fuck is going on? This couldn't be right. And then Liam and my friend Liam was all like, no, no, that can't be right. The count, like, watch the count. And I was like, no, that's a free. That is a free. The streak's over. And like, and my other friend, he actually shared a tear. Yes, he did. He shared a tear because of how upsetting it was to see a legend lose at his 22nd WrestleMania. 22 consecutive years. Guys, that is. I've got nothing but respect for Undertaker. You know, The Undertaker is probably one of the greatest known names in WWE history. But unfortunately, he did not win the match. But like I agreed with Heyman that it was a match. It was a match that he needed to win as well because it separates him from everybody else, which does make sense. And Lesnar needed to be more stronger because they wanted Lesnar to be the animal that he is and to be unstoppable no matter what is in front of him. And it does make sense that he beat Taker at WrestleMania, either you like it or not. But let's move on to that match. And Undertaker, if you get inducted to the Hall of Fame next year, then I round of applause for you, mate, because all the years I want to say thank you. Anyway, next match is what else is there? I'm trying to figure out. Oh yes, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. This match was probably the second match of the night. This match was The build was brilliantly done, and the idea of the build was trying to turn Cena heel. That is the idea. I mean, we've had this so many times in the past when people try to make Cena into a heel, but obviously it doesn't really work. I mean, in business wise, because obviously they have merchandise and the face of the company. But I mean, I know the heel turn would never happen, and it probably will never happen. Um, the match itself was actually very good. There was one moment when me and my friends were watching it. When John Cena goes for the five knuckle shuffle, and the camera angle was so perfectly done that when John Cena goes to the ropes and bounces off the ropes to go for the five knuckle shuffle, you see Bray Wyatt in that spider walk position. And my friend actually jumped. He actually got jumped from that. He got a jump scare from the spider walk from Bray Wyatt. In my opinion, Bray Wyatt, he should have won that match. I mean, Bray Wyatt with the build and everything, it was brilliantly done. What I mean? I was really annoyed when Cena won. And I'm not just saying that because I don't like Cena or anything like that. It was just because he didn't need it. He did not need the win. But obviously, in storyline wise and business wise, Cena had to win, just to get more ratings and shit like that. But anyway, the match, the build, brilliantly done. I couldn't ask it better. I think it was just the outcome that was not that great. But anyway, next match, AJ put Totado on the line. Put Totado on the line against pretty much every single diva in the roster, which is not that great. AJ won it, of course. Nothing special really. Next match was hang on, let me just think before I go anywhere further. Let me just try and think of other matches. What was that? Oh yeah, the Shield versus the Road. DX and Kane. Now, this match was not that great at all. Nothing interesting. And the Shield won in like under 5 minutes, and the build was actually okay. The build was okay. I mean, DX was meant to be unstoppable, but obviously there was, the Shield turned back and they just kicked everyone's asses. So, yeah, I mean, it's reasonable, but at the same time, the match was way too quick. So it wasn't a really good match, but builds momentum to the Shield. So fair play. Next match, I'm just gonna go straight to the main event. After Daniel Bryan defeats Triple H in the first match of the night, Daniel Bryan is qualified to go into the main event of WrestleMania against Batista, the Royal Rumble winner, and Randy Orton, the current champion. Daniel Bryan wins the title at that night, and it creates a humongous crowd reaction. The crowd was really really happy that he won the title, and just to see a guy that has worked his ass off, he's been going by country to country, and he's actually, I think he's been wrestling a lot longer than most of the people who actually work there. You know what I mean? And I'm not just saying that I'm a fan of Daniel Bryan and he deserves it. I genuinely think he just deserves it because Daniel Bryan is one of them wrestlers that pretty much was like, he didn't get paid much, in the very beginning, and then he gradually got better and better and better, and then he made it to the big leagues, and now he's in the main event of the third decade of WrestleMania. So yeah,